Hello friends, welcome back. This is Magali Santiago from Home and Careers. We're going to be making a dish from Barbados. I've been covering dishes from the Caribbean islands, and I picked this one because it's very similar to something that we eat in Puerto Rico, and it's called funche. So the Cou Cou is actually cornmeal, and it's made in something called funche, and we also eat it with like codfish on the side. It could be fried codfish, or it could be the codfish made in olive oil and made in kind of type of salad. Here in Barbados, they have fish as well, but they usually use mackerel to make this dish. I'm going to make the Cou Cou according to my country, which also has the inspiration of the Cou Cou, and it's called funche. And the Cou Cou from Barbados basically has garlic, onion, and red peppers, and is stir fried in butter. And then you start adding coconut milk and the cornmeal. And so I just mixed together right in here a cup of coconut milk and a cup of cornmeal, and I'm going to transfer it into my pan because I wanted it mixed together where it will avoid the lumps that sometimes cornmeal gets. So I'm going to pour it in here, and I already had the pan warm. Okay, and this is something that you will have to continuously be stirring and stirring, making sure that that it doesn't stick. So the Cou Cou is basically done. Excuse me, I think I forgot my mitt. Make sure I can hold on to my pan. While the Cou Cou's is basically done, the one from Puerto Rico, with just a little bit of salt. I'm adding a little bit of salt to mine, and you just start stirring and making sure that it will not stick. The one from Barbados, they make it this way, but then they make they just keep stirring and stirring, and they end up making a ball with this afterwards in a bowl. They'll butter the bowl, and then they'll throw this mixture in once it's cooked. And once the mixture is all cooked, they take and swing the bowl around in this buttered bowl until it creates a ball. So then, once it creates that ball, it's put to the side, and then we're going to end up doing the fish, okay? Because the fish is going to be what's going to go on the side of this. So I could smell the coconut because I also added like a teaspoon of coconut extract because I love to taste the coconut in this. This is also in Puerto Rico done as breakfast, but it's done with sugar and cinnamon and stuff like that, and it's given to the kids for breakfast, okay? So I'm stirring it, making sure that it's getting cooked, right? Making sure that it doesn't stick. You just got to keep stirring until it just you start to see that it's getting a little thick. We eat it a little bit thick, but not to the consistency of a ball. I have seen some people from Puerto Rico that they like it that way as well. But when I was growing up, my mom made it thick, but didn't serve it like in a ball form. So I'm just gonna keep stirring it. You don't want to get any of those little bumps in it, you know, any little lumps of cornmeal. So I'm cooking and stirring, cooking and stirring. It's really amazing how so many of the countries literally have the same recipe, and like it has like different variations of it, but it's the same ingredients. And with my fish recipe, I'm just going to have a little bit of tilapia mixed with sardines. I thought that would take a little bit of the fishiness of the sardines out. I didn't have mackerel, but sardines are just as good. Okay, and I'm trying to break down those little balls that are starting to form. Okay, and mine, I'm going to attempt to make it the way Barbados dish looks. The Barbados dish looks. I'm going to attempt to make it in a ball. I don't know if I will be able to, but I am going to attempt it. So yes, when you start to feel the thickness in it, you know that it's getting done. You know, and just keep stirring that. Oh, the coconut smells so good in this. So I want to make sure that it's thick enough. As I said, I don't know if mine will come out as good as the Barbados dish that I saw, but I'm going to try my best to get it as close as possible, because even though it's a dish from my country as well, I would like to try it in the buttered ball form. And without the, I would say without the garlic, the onion, and the red peppers, because this is something that I may have, that I may eat, you know. Okay, so this is finished. I'm going to set it over so it doesn't keep cooking and burn, because if you don't take care of it, it will definitely burn on you. Okay, I'm going to shut this side off. I'm going to take a bit of butter. Let me dry the inside of this bowl, because I had rinsed this bowl out. I am going to take the butter with just a little piece of towel, paper towel, and I'm gonna spread it around. Make sure it's nice and thick in there. Okay, gotta butter that. And then I'm going to spoon the mixture in there. Even if I don't get it in a ball consistency, guys, I am at least attempting to. So let me get all of that. And I'm gonna put it in there. There we go. And I still have a little bit left in here. I want to show you the technique that I saw them doing. The person that was doing the recipe from Barbados. As I said, I'm not very good at it, but they were just like turning it and making sure that it was in this ball form. And let me tell you, it's very difficult to do. Their technique is amazing, but I can't do it. But this is the fun part of my channel. I'm not a pro at this, and I don't think that I ever will be at these things. But no, mine is going to be the style from Puerto Rico, which has that consistency that's thick, but I can't turn it into a ball, because I would have had to continue leaving it here and turning it, and it's kind of difficult to do it on this burner where you can't. I had trouble adjusting the heat, and it would have burned on me, so that's why I would have had to remove it. So I'm just gonna cover this. This is the way it looks. I'm gonna cover this while I do my fish, okay? And I'm hoping that I could flip it over on a plate later on and take a picture of it, and you can be able to see how pretty it is. At least I hope. That's my idea. All right. So I'm going to cover that. And then I'm going to start on the fish. Okay. I've got my pot here. With the fish, I'm going to stir fry a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of coconut oil in my pot. And maybe I'm going to put maybe like a teaspoon of oil. Okay. Because I'm going to need the oil to stir fry the, the ingredients. So I have here, I have onions, I have bell pepper, I have scallions, and to this, we're going to add a couple of other ingredients, but we're going to stir fry this first, okay? So I'm going to throw it in there, and I'm going to stir it around a little bit. Alrighty, friends. And you want to make sure that it starts to break down. A lot of the recipes that I have been covering of the Caribbean islands, most of them have coconut oil or coconut milk or fish, cornmeal. Okra is very big. We in Puerto Rico love okra. My mom used to make okra with codfish, and she would serve it with a dough form of like boiled dumplings that were done as like little logs instead of like flat, and served, and it would taste so good. She would serve it to us when we were kids, and really the okra has such a great flavor when she'd mix it, because she would make it what they call stewed, guisado, and a lot of their recipes are guisado. This is pretty much like a guiso when you mix all these type of things together and you start to stew it. Okay, so to this, as it starts to soften, I am going to also add soon. I'm going to add the ingredients of like a tablespoon of tomato paste, so a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, and some curry powder. And I'm just going to do it according to my taste. So if you are a person that loves curry powder, you could add as much as you want into it. If you are a person that loves garlic, you can add as much as you want to it. I really love garlic. I think it's very good for you. I found this awesome roasted garlic, and it's in powder form, and it gives a really nice flavor to the food. So I'm starting to hear it. Now it's starting to kick in, the simmering of all the ingredients together. Okay. Listen to that. It sounds so great. So I see that a lot of the tourist places in these countries, they serve these type of foods, and they're considered like really great delicacies and stuff, when to us they're just what we eat most of the time. It's just foods that we eat, that we learn to make from very young. This one for me is different, like I said, because it's sardines. In Barbados they use mackerel. But in Puerto Rico, the majority of the time when they do something like this, it's codfish, it's bacalao. And the bacalao is very similar like this. It's the only thing that you don't add to the bacalao would be curry powder. But the basic things, it's very similar. You can add scallions to it. You can add the peppers. I don't have green pepper because where I went, I couldn't find any. So this would normally have green peppers in it as well. So all I have right now are the yellow peppers and the red pepper and the scallion that's in there. But you start to smell that awesome coconut flavor. It just starts to pop out of that pot, along with the simmering flavors and scents of all the onion and the bell pepper and everything. Okay, I am going to add some of the roasted peppers, so it'll mix in with that. I'm just gonna cover it really well because I love, like I said, I love roasted pepper. Roasted garlic. And I am going to add a little bit of the black pepper, because I'm not a big fan of black pepper. If you have problems with your esophagus like I do, very spicy things like come back up on you. So it doesn't really agree with me. So I try not to put too much of that in my food if it's for myself. I don't think I will be having this dish. I think I'm going to have my husband try it and tell me what he thinks. Okay, so it's starting to simmer, my friends. To that, I am going to add some seafood stock. And it's usually a fish broth, but I didn't find fish broth, but I thought this would be just as good. It's a seafood stock. And I am going to put like half a cup of that into my mixture. I think I'll add a cup. I think I want it really, really nice and moist. And cook it really well. There you go. And to this, I'm going to put a tablespoon of tomato paste. Okay. I'm going to stir that in. Make sure it cooks down. Oh, it is smelling so nice. And this is different for me because bacalao, which is the catfish, is not made with fish broth or with seafood broth or anything like that. And it can be made guisado. What makes it guisado is you have these ingredients and you add the tomato paste, and it has olive oil usually as the base. You could also I have used coconut oil as well when I make bacalao guisado. So you mix in all those ingredients really well together. Stir it really well. I would have added a bay leaf to this because guisado, things that are guisado like fish, bay leaf gives it an amazing flavor. But this dish, I did not see that they used bay leaf, so I'm not going to use bay leaf. Okay, now I am going to add my fish. I have this fish right here that I'm going to add in there. And then I'm going to add to that the sardines. And I also had it marinating in lemon and lime juice, friends. I added that on top so it'll have that nice citrus flavor. And I left it in chunks because normally this type of fish, both of them, they tend to break down. So I left it in chunks because, you know, with the heat, it'll end up breaking down on their own. This one's already breaking up, if you can see. So if it breaks up, it'll be even better because, you know, it'll fill the bowl like with flakes of fish. So I decided to do a combination with the sardines because the sardines are pretty strong flavor. And if I mix it with this fish that doesn't have a strong flavor, it'll really balance itself out. So tilapia is good. The halibut fish is great. And you can do this with, I think those types of fish would be great with mackerel or, you know, sardines. So now it's starting to boil. And it's smelling so good, friends. The mackerel, they take and they debone it before they put it in the pot. Sardines, the bone in the sardine, it just evaporates really when you're boiling it. It blends into the broth, which gives it like a lot of healthy vitamins into the broth, because it actually becomes like a fish bone broth, right? I think I want to add more of the seafood stock in it because I wanted to coat it pretty much because there is a lot of fish in here. So I'm going to add a little bit more just to coat it enough, because as it's cooking, remember, this will be evaporating. Yeah. And there we go. Yes, it's looking and it's smelling so awesome. I am also going to add just a little bit of cilantro with lime adobo to it, just for that salt in it. Instead of using the Himalayan salt that I have, I'm going to use a little bit of this. Seafood, if you use lime or lemon, it really gives it a kick. As you can see, the fish is already breaking up into the liquid, and it's gonna be very thick, which is great. I don't know if I might have to add more seafood stock to this, because as I said, this is my first time making this dish, so I'm going by what I see, and I'm gonna have a little taste. My mom used to always take a little bit of the liquid and then she would transfer it to her hand, the middle of her hand, and then she'd taste it. It tastes so good. I'm not even a sardine lover, but I can tell you that it has such a great flavor. I do want a little bit more of the garlic flavor in there, so I am going to add a little extra garlic in here, and I am going to add a little more of the cilantro and lime, and I'm going to continue to stir, because I want it's breaking up, and that's okay, because it's going to look really great, all flaky looking, kind of like pulled fish instead of pulled pork. That's what it's looking like. As I said, I wish I would have had the green peppers. It would have given it a real beautiful color with all the different colors of the bell peppers. You're gonna stir. You don't want to overcook this. You just want to cook it enough where all these flavors just join. Fish is done very quickly, so I am going to be shutting it off in about 5 minutes, because it's looking done to me. It's looking done. It looks so good, and friends, it really this recipe has such a great flavor. So now, as it's continuing the last bits of boiling, I'm going to go and turn over the Cou Cou. So friends, my Cou Cou's didn't turn into a ball, but it's very similar, okay? And then to this, you just add your fish. And I would like to just put it on the side, like that. See how beautiful it looks? You can continue to make this pastier until it gets that doughy consistency, because the one in Barbados has a doughy consistency. It's not the way this one looks. This one tastes great. It tastes just like coconut, but it needs that consistency if you want to make the exact Barbados texture. Okay, so thank you so much, friends, for being with me. My hand is so big. I'm trying to trying to see if I can shut this off. Thank you for being with me today. You have a great day, and I'll see you soon with a couple of more recipes for the Caribbean islands. Bye bye.